Hello everyone, welcome to PUC Online Classroom. Today I am moving on to the next activity. So before I go to the next activity, I'd like to wrap up the grammar point that we have learned and also give you the answers as well from the previous section. So now let's talk about the grammar point that we have learned. So the first one is about the recommendations and opinions. So we use modal passive, all right, to talk about the recommendations and opinions. So the first is a good idea, or you can say opinions. So when you talk about opinions or just only good ideas, then you can use should or ought to, okay? And then you have be and verb to be. However, when something is important, then you can use must or have to, all right? Okay, so last time I asked you to do exercise A, so now let's check the answer all together. The first one, people, so be careful everybody, it can be positive or negative, okay? And it can be the recommendation or the opinion, okay? If it is a recommendation, then it should be must or have to. If it is an opinion, then can be should or ought to, okay? Now let's begin with the first. People are allowed to use cell phones while driving. So I think we still can use the phone, right? And that is not really a must or a recommendation because sometimes we might have a call, you know, urgently, then we have to pick up the phone call. But we need to have a headset, for example, so that you don't need to hold the phone directly or the cell phone directly, okay? So right here it is a negative, so I would like to stick to should. All right, so you can say people shouldn't be allowed to use cell phones while driving. But if you think that this one is very important, then you can use must not, okay? Must not be allowed. But I think it's not really a big concern, a big problem. So I would use should right here. So the answer is people shouldn't be allowed. Number two, young people permit to get married before age 15. Before age 15, all right? So it means that 14 or 13 or 14 or 12, I don't know. So I think that is very necessary. Then it should be must right here. Young people must. So we need to talk about positive and negative. Then it should be a negative. You can say young people must not be permitted, right? Must not be permitted. Number three, companies required to give workers periodic breaks. Periodic means from time to time. Okay, so it should be from time to time breaks. What do you think? So this one is, to me, should. All right. So I can say companies should be or ought to be required to give workers periodic breaks. But if you think that it is important, it is necessary, then you can use must. Okay. Next one, number four, people what? Allowed to have pets in high-rise buildings. Sorry, high-rise apartments. High-rise means tall building. Okay. So what do you think about number four? Pets. Related to pets. So I think it's just only the opinions. So you can say people should be allowed to have pets in high-rise apartments. Okay. Five, scientists permit to use animals for research. This one is must. It's important. But negative or positive, we can talk about that later. After this, scientists permit to use animals for research. Okay, that one should be it should be a negative one. So you can say scientists must not be permitted to use animals for research. So because in other country, animal becomes important. So in other tests, you have to use some kind of plant. All right. 6. Laws passed to ban the sale of handguns. You know handguns, right? It's a gun holding in your hand. So you can say the laws must or have got to be passed, all right, to ban the sale of handguns. So that must not have that. Okay, so they cannot sell handguns. So should be must have passed or have to be passed. Okay. Number 7, the sale of fur products. Fur means animal skins. Prohibit means ban. You cannot do it. You cannot is forbid or ban. Okay, you cannot do anything. Or if they say the sale of fur products, prohibit, it's just like you cannot sell. So right here, it's just only the good idea or the opinions. So you can say should be prohibit prohibited. I'm sorry. So we have to make it past participle. Okay. Or shouldn't be prohibited. Okay. So it can be positive, it can be negative. It depends. So I will go with 2 possible answers right here. You can say should be prohibited or shouldn't be prohibited. Okay. Number 8, something what? To stop clubs from staying open so late. That's very important. So has to be done or must be done. Okay. All right. So that's it. So once again, number 1 is shouldn't be allowed. Number 2, mustn't be permitted. Number 3, ought to be required. Number 4, should be allowed. Number 5, mustn't be permitted. Number 6, have got to be passed or must be passed. Number 7, should be prohibited or shouldn't be prohibited. And last one is has to be done or must be done. Okay, hopefully you get the answers. If not, you can play one more time. All right, so now let's go to number 5, that is the listening. You can go through the listening audio that I sent you, all right, from the previous time. Okay, so you can just listen and get the answers. Now you can go on to number 7, local concerns. So concerns means worries. So local concern is like we are worried about our community. Okay. So which of these issues are problems in your community, in our community? Check the appropriate boxes. So there's something like problems. Okay. Now let's begin with bullying. Bullying is frightening someone who is, smaller or weaker, and usually at school. All right. So it happens a lot. I think this one, check this one. Company outsourcing, just like the company hiring people outside the company. I mean, the people in the company cannot do this kind of task, but the boss decided to hire somebody else outside, okay, to perform certain jobs in a company. So that is company outsourcing. Graffiti is words or pictures written or drawn, illegally on walls or buildings and public property. If you love to draw, you have some kind of spray, color spray on someone's wall, and you spray about the picture or written anything on their wall. So that's what we call graffiti. And it happens a lot in our country. Homelessness is not having home, right? That is also a problem as well. So I check this. Inadequate health care. Inadequate means not enough. Not enough health care. Okay. So we check this. We do have enough, but quality is another thing. Lack means not enough. Affordable childcare. Affordable means people are able to pay for their children. Okay, so I think in our country it's very expensive for kids, especially childcare. You have to spend a lot of money. Okay, even in America, it costs more than our country. Okay, for the childcare. Noise pollution, yeah, a lot, especially at night. But during this time, it's much better because the government banned, the restaurants, nightclub not to open just because of the problems, okay, COVID-19. So that is the reason there are little noise right now. Okay, let's move on to overcrowded classrooms. The classroom contain, the classrooms contain many students together. So that's overcrowded classroom. It happens only with a state school or public school, not in the private school. Stray animals, the animals do not have owners, do not have home. Okay, you can say homeless animals like dogs and cats, and they don't belong to anyone. Okay, street crime, you know that. Um, yeah, so I think it seems like we all have this kind of problems in our country, right? In our city as well. Okay, hopefully those kind of problems can be reduced, and we can feel safe when we travel somewhere. Okay. All right, I think that's it for today, everyone. So nothing much, just only the uh, worries or vocabulary that we learned. And the next session, I will move on to number 8 and 9, which is about grammar point, take questions for opinions, things like this. So that's it for today, everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in our Telegram group chat. Okay, thank you so much.